This presentation of West Coast Recaps on National Sports Radio is presented by Spreaker.com. Hello, I'm Eli Lesser here on West Coast Recaps. We have a lot for you today. This is our ranking show every Thursday. I'll also have NFL predictions. But first, let me start with what happened yesterday. So for all those sport broadcasting camp people out there that were with me in LA, yesterday I took a field trip to UCLA for the ropes courses. It was some team building thing with my grade, whatever. But it so happens that the part that we met was the same yard that we would hang out every night at camp. So it brought back a lot of memories. I may have teared up a little bit. Well, let's get to what's happening. For our first half of the show, I will have college football rankings. I'll have Pac-12, SEC, and my top 25. And then the second half, I'll have NFL predictions by position. Rankings by position. And then my predictions for the week. So we're going to start with college football. My SEC rankings. My number one seed is Mississippi State. They are 6-0, followed by Ole Miss that are 6-0 also. Then I have Auburn, who's 5-1, Alabama, who's 5-1, Georgia, who's 5-1, Texas A&M at 6, they are 5-2, LSU in 7th are 5-2, Missouri, still putting them ahead of South Carolina and Kentucky, they are 4-2. South Carolina's 3-3, a very disappointing season for them. Kentucky is 5-1, a great start for them. 11th is Florida, 3-2. Tennessee is 12th. They are 3-3. Arkansas is 13th. They are also 3-3. And on the bottom of the shelf, it's Vanderbilt, 2-5. Let's go to the Pac-12 rankings real quick. I still feel like UCLA is a top 25 team, so they'll be ranked high in my Pac-12 rankings, and they'll still be ranked in my rankings. Oregon, I have at number 1, they are 5-1. Then Arizona, they are 5-1 also. Arizona State is 4-1. Stanford is 4-2. Then in 5th, my UCLA Bruins, they are 4-2. 6th, 4-1 Utah. 7th is 4-2 USC. 8th is Washington, 5-1. They have a tough game against Oregon, but we'll see what happens because Oregon's already been upsetted by Arizona. So maybe Washington could be in the top 10 too. Oregon State, 4-1. California, 4-2. 11th is Washington State, 2-5. And at the bottom of the pack, I have Colorado at 2-4. Let's go to my top 25 rankings. These are strictly my rankings. Did not copy AP or anything. Some may be similar, but these are my. Let me hear that again. My official rankings. My number 1 team is Mississippi State. Then I have they're 6-0. Then I have Florida State at 6-0. Mississippi 6-0 is 3rd. Then Baylor 4th, 6-0. Notre Dame I have 5th. They are 6-0. Alabama, I have 7th. Alabama, I have 6th. Auburn, I have 7th. Oregon, I have 8th. And Georgia, I have 9. And Michigan, I have 10. They're all 5-0. TCU's my 11th pick. They are 4-1. Just behind them is the team that lost to TCU, Oklahoma. They are 5-1. Arizona's my 13th team, 5-1. Ohio State is 4-1. They are my 14th ranked team. Kansas State, 4-1. They are my 15th ranked team. Oklahoma State, they're 5-1. They're my 16th ranked team. Arizona State is 4-1, my 17th ranked. Nebraska, 5-1. They are 18th. The 19th is Stanford, 4-2. 20th is Texas A&M. They're 5-2. My UCLA Bruins come in at 21. They're the 21st team. 21. They are 4-2. Utah is my 22nd, 4-1. USC is my 23rd, 4-2. LSU is my 24th ranked team. They are 5-2, and East Carolina is 5-1, my 25th team. Now here are the top 5 teams that just missed it. Marshall, The reason why they are 6-0, but the reason why they are not in my top 25 is because they do not play any ranked teams. So if they go undefeated, they will not even be in the top 20 for me. Clemson is my 27th. They are 4-2. Duke is 28th, 5-1. Although I put South Carolina and Missouri in front of Kentucky in my SEC rankings, Kentucky is my 29th team. They are 5-1. And then 30th at the bottom of the pack here, Minnesota. They are 5-1. When we come back, we'll have my NFL player predictions, which I'll give you my top 5 QB, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Also, my Week 7 predictions that you will not want to miss.
Your presentation of national sports is brought to you by Spreaker.com. Broadcast and listen to news, radio, and music with one low monthly rate. Your show will be right back after this word from your local stations. You can contact National Sports in a number of ways, through Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with the label National Sports. We love to have you guys a part of our show and can easily join us also through text or call. You're listening to the National Sports radio station on Spreaker.com.
Welcome back to West Coast Recaps. That is Wiggle by Jason Derulo featuring Snoop Dogg. So we have our NFL predictions now. Rankings and predictions. I will give you my top 5 in all the offensive positions and then my weekly predictions. Although the Patriots and Jets are playing currently, I will give you their score update right now. So last time I checked, New England was winning 20-19, and now they are winning 27-19. They must have scored a touchdown. New Jersey has the ball. Let's go back to the show real quick. Let's go back to the show now. For my predictions by positions, I'm going to start with the QBs. Andrew Luck is obviously the number one. He is putting up fantastic numbers. He is a triple crown in my 3 categories. Andrew Luck is leading the league with 1,987 yards, 17 touchdowns, and he averages 331 yards per game. He could be the MVP of the NFL season. Second is Phillip Rivers with 1,756 yards, 15 touchdowns, and averages 293 yards per game. Peyton Manning is my third-ranked quarterback. He may pass Brett Favre's record in his next game. Brett Favre's record for most touchdown passes. He has 1,530 yards, 15 touchdowns, and averages 306 yards per game. Matt Ryan is my fourth quarterback. He has 1,850 yards, 12 touchdowns, and averages 308 yards per game. He is the second in yards for quarterbacks. Jay Cutler rounds up the top 5 with 1,676 yards, 13 touchdowns, 279 yards per game. Let's go to my running backs. I have a two-way tie for 5th, but we'll start with number 1. DeMarco Murray is my number 1 with 785 yards, 6 touchdowns, and averages 130 yards per game. he is really helping the Cowboys become a good team this year. And I know I hate the Cowboys because I'm a Redskins fan, but I gotta respect Murray. Arian Foster's my second-ranked running back. He has 513 yards, 5 touchdowns, and averages 102 yards per game. Now, Matt Forte, he is my third. He does have 399 yards, but he also has a lot of complete passing yards. But I'm just showing the rushing yards. He also has 2 touchdowns and 67 yards per game. That's rushing yards per game. Passing yards could be different, but he is a running back, so he is in my top 5. Le'Veon Bell is my fourth. He has 442 yards, 1 touchdown, and averages 90 yards per game. Now, because he has a bye week, I did 2 running backs for the top. I did 2 running backs, so I did division rivals, LaShawn McCoy and Alfred Morris. LaShawn McCoy has 422 yards, 1 touchdown, and 70 yards per game, average 70 yards per game. Alfred Morris has 386 yards, 3 touchdowns, and averages 64 yards per game. Let's go to my receivers real quick. We have my number 5 is new to my list, so you'll hear that in just a minute. But let's start with number 1. Number 1 is Antonio Brown, 629 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 104 yards per game. Jordy Nelson is my second. I just realized something. I think Jordy Nelson should be my first, because he has 3 more yards than Antonio Brown, same amount of touchdowns, and 1 more yard per game. So pretend I switched them, but right here on my paper it says second is Jordy Nelson, 632 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 105 yards per game. Julio Jones is my third ranked wide receiver. Sorry, I keep on saying wide receiver. So wide receiver, 620 yards, 3 touchdowns, and averages 103 yards per game. Demaryius Thomas is my 4th ranked wide receiver. He has 491 yards, 4 touchdowns, and averages 98 yards per game. And welcome into the top 5, T.Y. Hilton from the Indiana Colts. He had an amazing game last week, and I think he deserves to be in my top 5. So rounding up the top 5 at the bottom of the shelf is T.Y. Hilton, 604 yards, 1 touchdown, and averages 109 yards per game. He is the leader of the top 5 list. Let's go top 5 tight ends before I get to my NFL Week 7 predictions. Julius Thomas is my number 1 tight end. You see his yards, but he's already had his bye week. But he's still number 1 because he has 9 touchdowns, but he only has 277 yards. But still, 9 touchdowns, and I have a feeling he'll get at least a couple more to help Manning past Favre. Delaney Walker is my 2nd ranked tight end. He has 420 yards and 3 touchdowns. Greg Olsen he could be back to the vintage Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen has 388 yards and 5 touchdowns. Antonio Gates is my 4th ranked tight end. He has 302 yards, 6 touchdowns. And ending my rankings of the week, Martellus Bennett is my 5th ranked tight end with 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Let's get to my Week 7 predictions. We have a lot of games in store for you. Only 2 teams not playing. This week. Thursday Night Football, I have the Patriots will cream the Jets in Thursday Night Football. So right now it's not like that, but the Patriots still have time to break away in the 4th. The Redskins, my Redskins, will finally get their 2nd win against the Titans. Sorry, I'm a little biased in that one, but this time it actually could come true for the Redskins.